Let's see. We're live now. Hello. Hello. People, we are live, and I am so excited to be here. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but you know what? We are still here because that's what we do. That's what we
Mhm.
do when we are business women who are building wealth. And I'm just excited to be here to introduce you all to Christina Perez. Christina, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. Excited to be on this. Looking forward to it. Celebrating with you.
Yes, see, look, I have my pom pom because I'm excited. She has the millionaire pom pom. Look, I got the half a million $500,000 pom pom. Man, this is amazing. Can you believe that we're doing this again?
Yes, yes. I'm excited. I'm so excited to celebrate with you and just to be a part of this. Looking forward to inspire women and just be part of what you're doing because you're doing amazing things, Terry. Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely, y'all. If you do not know, Christina Perez is going to be one of our speakers at the 2025 Attract Abundance Conference, and it's going to be incredible. She spoke last year. She impacted a lot of women, but even before the conference, she made a great impact with the interviews and with the Q&A session. And so I want to tell you more about this woman who I call my business partner, who I call my referral partner, who I call my friend. Christina Perez proudly serves and represents the vibrant Rio Grande Valley of Texas.
That's
As
right.
an insurance broker, agent with over 15 years of experience, she discovered that life's greatest triumphs often come from embracing risk and showing resilience. Her mission goes beyond insurance. She's deeply passionate about mentoring and empowering fellow insurance agents. With a top producing agency that grosses over $1 million per year, $1 million a year in sales, she is dedicated to sharing her knowledge and expertise to help agents thrive in this ever evolving industry, the industry we call insurance. In the insurance industry, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. When
Yeah.
she is not helping her clients, she is navigating and helping her clients in the health insurance world. You will find her lighting up the dance floor with her infectious Latin dance moves, salsa. Is it called but
Bachata.
bachata?
Yeah, yeah, bachata.
Okay, and merengue.
Yes, yes, merengue.
Okay, he has rhythm. You got to teach me all of that, especially this weekend, because I turned 35, so I need to know how to dance in every language. In every culture. Not only will she be providing financial literacy, business growth strategies, and wealth building content as a financial consultant and retirement planning professional, she is one of our great speakers, and she is just somebody who is incredible for you to get to know. You meet some people who are great business people, but they're not good people to be around.
Mm, yeah,
Chris
you're right.
one of those people. Like who you see online is who you see offline. Her energy is everything. And what month was that? Was that March? We got an opportunity to hang together
Hmm.
in March. And I'm telling y'all, who you see is who you get. She is not one of those people that, higher than thou. She's going to tell it to you straight. And she really shares her expertise with love. And that's why
Oh,
her clients love her. That's why her agents love her. So, without further ado, I am going to introduce to some and present to others the lady whom I love as well, Miss Christina Perez.
well, hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be on here. I'm excited to share things. We definitely need a platform here in an area that we can share because so many people want to join us. They don't know, they are just kind of scared or they feel like it's above them. And it's really exciting to be able to share our journeys with people and just be real. Be real. Like there's no like secret sauce. Really, it's just share your success stories. That's all we're going to be doing today.
Yes, yes. Speaking of stories, we always
Mhm.
love a good story. Tell us,
Mhm.
how did you get into insurance?
Yeah, that's a really good story. So, prior to getting into insurance, I've always been in sales, right, and management. But I dated this young man that his dad was an insurance agent, and it was just chatting with him. I was in insurance. I was in sales, like sales, but in cell phones. And he asked me to help him. Basically, one day he's like, "Hey, can you help me with my BlackBerry?" So I'm kind of aging myself there, like BlackBerry, right? Um, and I just really just showed him, and he just in that process of just sharing with him like what I was doing and how to help him, he's like, you know what, you can do what I do. And I'm like, well, what is it that you do? I didn't know he was an insurance agent. I thought he was he was a deacon. To me, I thought he was just a deacon, and that was just his.
Weekends don't work.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't know. I didn't know any better. And I'm like, I didn't even know that his main profession was he was an insurance agent. And so that was like the start. And I still remember to this day when he says, I'm like, what do you mean? What do you do? I'm like, I can't be a deacon, And he's like, no, I'm an insurance agent. And I'm like, oh, well, at first I was just like, oh, that's great, but that doesn't sound like fun. Like I was very young. I was 25 when he asked me to be an insurance agent. I'm 47 now. And so back then I just didn't know, but he saw something in me that I didn't know. Okay. And that's where it all started. Really, he planted the seed. And when I was ready, which it took me like 5 years after, I would say a good 5 years, 6 years after he told me the first time, to take him serious and then get my license and then really dive deep into what is this world of insurance. And I could tell you the one thing I now tell everybody, and I'll tell people, you regret not getting it sooner, right? Because I know I did. I should have took him up at 25. I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Didn't know what I didn't know. I can relate to that. I remember the first time someone told me that I should get an insurance license. I was like, for what? I don't want to talk about dying. I don't want to do that. And look at me now. Look at me now. I really had a misconception about what getting the license meant and what I would be able to do with having an insurance license. Hello,
Hmm.
Sherry. Hello, LaShawn. Hello, Gretel. Good afternoon, ladies. So, Christina, can you tell us some of the things that we're able to do because we have an insurance license? Because some women may be thinking, like, I think I want to get a license, but I'm not sure. Or sometimes I come across a number of women who say, well, I had a license, or I have a license, but I don't use it. And sometimes they're stuck in the box. They're only thinking about one thing that you can do with the license. So, what are some incredible things that we're able to do because we have an insurance license, and
Yeah.
some things that we're able to do that many people may not know?
Yeah, absolutely. So with your like the license that I hold and that you hold, right, is our health and life license. So we can sell anything under life. That's term, whole life, IULs, I mean annuities, fixed annuities. And then the one thing that I do a lot is Medicare. So I do Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, prescription drug plans, and the Affordable Care Act, which is just regular health insurance, right? And so you can do all of those products. You can just do life. We've got agents that are just that's all they like life and that's all they do. We've got agents that are just health and they just want to do just Medicare. It's really up to you. I'm a broker. Over this last 17 years of working in this industry, I did first start with just health, but now I do a little bit of life. I do annuities. We added ACA to the mix. And so I mean, in time, you're going to master one thing, you're going to add and add. Now, the one thing I don't do is I don't do PNC. That's property casualty. It's a totally different license.
Right.
And right. And I don't do that. And honestly, I just feel like with me, with my health and life, we have a lot of work. We have plenty to do with our health and life and still learning. So those are the things that I do that I help agents with when it comes to getting their health and life license.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. We do have a lot to do, and we're forever learning. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite carriers decided to change two of my favorite products June 1st. And so at first, I'm like, how can you change these products? Like, I've been writing these products all year long. But I actually spoke to some executives at the company, and I was like, oh, I see. You wanted to have products that can have specific things for specific needs. So, for example, I don't want to get in trouble by naming the company or naming the products, but there is one particular annuity that I loved writing. And this annuity was good for income and it was good for accumulation. Well,
Oh,
now they actually took one of the writers off and made a whole separate product for the people who are looking for income. And so I recently learned of that product. I've been diving in and just getting to know more about how that product works well for my clients. But it's important for us as women in insurance, women in finance, to know that we're not going to know everything. This
yeah.
is always an opportunity for us to learn more. The products are going to be evolving, the carriers are going to be evolving, we're going to be evolving. So it's important for us to have a growth mindset.
Yes.
Speaking of a growth mindset, when you became a licensed agent, did you
Hmm.
have a goal to have $1 million agency? Or were you like, you know what, I'm just going to make enough money to do X, Y, and Z, and then I'll be happy?
Great question. You're absolutely right. No, I did not have a mentality that I could hit $1 million agency. Well, number one, not even have an agency. When I first started, I just wanted to make enough money to cover my base. Honestly, I just wanted to make like $65,000, 60 to 65,000, and that's what I was making in my previous job in my corporate world. And honestly, that's all I wanted to do. And I wasn't thinking of even growing a team. I was far from that. I wasn't even thinking of an agency. I was just doing business as Christina Perez, and that's it. I was, I wasn't, I did not know all the things that you could do with this business. So I kept it really, honestly, I kept it really basic in the beginning because I wasn't even sure what I was doing. I didn't have a mentor. You need to know that. I did not have a mentor. Someone got me into it, but it doesn't mean that someone will mentor you, right? Show you the ropes. Sometimes people are just going to give you the golden ticket and it's see what you do with it, right? And so I learned a lot. Now, when I finally started to see the money insurance, yeah, things started to change. And I honestly, I remember I got to the point where I think I was about 70, 75,000, just making it my own income. And I just remember being like, well, that's it. That's it. Like I could pay my bills. I have a good, I have a nice car, I save home. I travel all the time. Truth be told, if you're a leader, you're going to want to do more. You're going to want to do more and you're going to get bored with yourself. Like that's it. That's all. I mean, I have a great life. And that's when, success will, your energy, I've gotten, your success and not just your success, it's your energy attracts people to say, hey, what are you doing that you seem really happy? Really, those were the comments that I was constantly getting. What are you doing that you seem really happy in what you're doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing, at the time, I started to really dive into Medicare. And Medicare for me, I really, really just love my client. I enjoyed spending time and chatting with them. They weren't like looking at their clock all the time, like trying to get me out. They really wanted to just be friends. Honestly, they wanted friends. And I really enjoyed the work. And then I'm so grateful the pay was there. The pay was there to do something you love and to get paid well. Girl, it's a win win situation.
It is a win-win. And I can tell you love your clients because when you start speaking about your clients, like you lit up. And that's a
Hmm.
beautiful thing. So how do you train your team? Because I know some people that are watching this, some people are in insurance, some people are outside of insurance, but
Hmm.
they're a leader. And like you
Yeah.
said, when you lead and when you teach and when you have that desire to pour into other people and lead other people, it takes a different version of you. So how do you train your team to provide excellent customer service so that whether or not they're speaking to you or they're speaking to one of your teammates, your clients still have like a stellar experience?
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right, and that's what sets us apart, right there. That stellar, that great customer service is one. Number one is be genuine. Know that what you do really matters. A lot of times, new agents come into it and they don't really trust the product.
Mm.
And I could tell I was that one person. I wasn't sure, like, is this a real legitimate product that they're getting into? One, I have to learn and stand by these companies. These companies are exceptional companies. I love that I stand by whatever the product says it's going to do. It does stand by, right? It does do what it says it's going to do. So number one, I trust it. I'm confident in that, and then I mirror. So in those beginning years, and even to this day, what I do is I just bring in the agents in to shadow me, and I say, look, just you can listen to my staff, you can listen to me. We go and I mean, I just show like shadow me. You're going to see the type of customer service that we do. We go above and beyond because at the end of the day, we don't want to treat people like just another person. or just another thing to do, right? I genuinely enjoy knowing my clients' names. We've got a lot of regulars that come into the office. I genuinely know their life, right? They share things with me, these stories like I'm going through cancer, or I lost my spouse, or I'm getting remarried, and so we celebrate things with them. We get to know. I get invited to. I'm turning 80. I'm turning 100 parties.
Oh, that's so precious. That is really, really precious. And it's a blessing that they feel like you are a part of their family. You're
Yeah.
not just an agent, you're not just the person that's providing the insurance, but you're a part of their family. I have some clients, like, we're not supposed to have favorite clients, but I got some favorite clients. One of my favorite clients, I remember when she first did business with me that year and during the Christmas season, she invited me to her house to her Christmas party. And she was like, "Oh, I'm having a Christmas party." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But it was like one of those Christmas parties you see in the movies. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like, it was like a Brazilian steakhouse up in
Oh my
there.
goodness.
It was amazing. And as soon as I walked through the door, she said, "Hey, everybody, here's my financial consultant. This is Terry." And I was like, now this was like about 5 years ago. I was like,
Uh-huh.
but she has been so instrumental in my business, and she tells people like I'm like family. And even when she
Aw.
came here to Dallas last year, she and her daughter took me out to eat to Carbone, and I was like, something about this sounds very familiar. I was like, oh, this is the restaurant on the Drake song. So it's good when your clients actually
Yeah.
give back to you, because you know you're doing a good job, and it reminds you that this is not just about the money, it's not just about the commission, but we're actually a part of people's legacy. We're a part
Yeah.
of their life story. Like, we get an opportunity to have a great impact on their lives and on their children and on their
Mhm.
children's children. And
Correct.
Christina, this wasn't even a question that I was
Mhm.
going to ask, but I just feel led to ask this question because
Yeah.
someone who's listening to this live or who's watching the replay, by the way, if you're watching the replay, type hashtag replay, but someone may need to hear this. So I don't know if you are aware, but I saw an article that said about over 106,000 Black women have been laid off this year in 2020
Oh,
so far. That's a lot.
it is.
Some of the women, what I am noticing is they are taking these times as a sign to go full time in their passion, to go full time in their business. Well, as a full time business owner, we must have our own benefits. And so, what are some tips and tools you can share to that businesswoman that's listening in, not because she's in the insurance space, but because
Mhm.
she's a businesswoman and she wants to learn more about health insurance, life insurance, Medicare, and just making sure that she has the right things in place, because now she's about to be self-employed and she's going to be a full-time entrepreneur. What are some tips that you can share with her on?
Yeah. Yeah. Great question, because a lot of times we don't leave our corporate jobs. Even though we have an outside passion, that we have a gift that we are not really fully, utilizing. And when we have an opportunity like that, like unfortunately, like when you get laid off is one of them. I would tell you that was part of my story too. Even though somebody planted that, I didn't go full time into insurance until a company laid me off. Okay.
Mm,
And it was kind of like one of those things, like, well, what am I going to do? And so the one thing I think that women, and I say women because we are always thinking of safety and security, right? And certainty. We know that if we go to a job, it provides us a 401k, it provides us, which is retirement. They provide health insurance. Mind you, it's not free. We still put money from our paychecks into these programs, right? We
mm,
buy into our benefits. We're buying, and so we think that that's the safety net. Like, I need to go back to a regular job because they provide me. Honestly, I've been in business for myself for 17 years, and I've built those business. I get all those things. I just choose where I'm going to go buy it from. I deal with brokers, people like you, right, Terry? I've got different people in my line that help me get those programs myself, right? I sell myself my own health insurance because I sell health insurance, right? So, health insurance, don't worry about it, ladies. Don't worry. Anybody that's self employed, you can handle it yourself. You can purchase it yourself. Okay. So, whether it's to employer or yourself, you're going to get that. You want to invest in a retirement, you talk to somebody like Terry. Okay. Terry's going to help you build that. Exactly. So like they always say, like in business, you need a lawyer, you need a doctor, you need a finance, you need a banker, you need a health insurance agent. These are all going to be tools to your success. We can create our own. We don't need somebody to just give them to us. Remember that employer coverages, somebody in a company designed those benefits. Over here on the self-employed world, you get to design your own. You get to decide. Some you work with someone like a specialist in healthcare, like myself, someone like you in business, like yourself, like Terry, exactly. And we get to talk to people like us and say, okay, let me help you build what you're looking for. That's how we do it. You don't have to be afraid, like, oh, I'm losing all this benefit. Guys, we can create all of our own benefits. We don't have to wait on a corporate company to give us this certainty and security. We can buy it ourselves. I did. I know you do.
I
I'm your
did.
client. You're one of my clients.
Client. I said, Christina, I need more insurance. Help me with this. I need I wear glasses. I need
Hmm.
this. I need that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
My business queen. So
Hmm.
yes, we support each other, but I love what you said there. Like we can do it. We can do it. We don't have to be discouraged by not having the security, right, of a 9 to 5 or the security of having those benefits. Those are things that we can pay for out of pocket because most times you're paying for those benefits anyway. So
Hmm.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I heard you say that you've been laid off too.
Yeah.
And when you were laid off, you decided to go full time in your business. But when you decided to go full time in your business, you just wanted to make 65,000. You
Hmm.
made 75,000, and then you were like, "Okay, this is it." So what inside of you told you that you had not arrived yet once you hit that 65 or 75,000 in income in your business that you were wanting at that time? And again, if you could tell us what year it was, because 65 to 75,000 now is not what it was when you first started making that.
Yeah, so it was the fourth year in the business that I was in there. So I think I went full time I had my license before 30, but I didn't go full time to about 32. So like I said, it was like year 3 or 4 is when I was hitting about the 65, 75. Because the thing is with health insurance, like Medicare, right? It's residual income. So what ended up happening is I had residual income build up from like 3 years. So then that's where my income just whoop, it just went into 75,000. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I just couldn't fathom like how you get paid. I'm just used to I'm used to like you get paid for your time, right? And and that's it. And in insurance, particularly in Medicare, is residual income. And that's really what made the big difference for me. That residual income by year 3, 4. It took, and I tell everybody, guys, you won't make serious money if you're doing this full time. You won't make serious money till probably year 3 or 4. That was my experience. But if you get mentored by someone and grooms you and helps you like understand, right? That's what I do with our agents. When we do our trainings, we share, like I share everything. I'm like, there's no secrets here, really. Like, and I've had agents where they do exactly what I say and they just get there faster. And then you've got agents that just want to do it their own way, and that's cool too, right? They're just going to do it a little bit harder. It's going to take them a little longer. That's all it is.
I know exactly what you mean. So this summer, next month, I'll actually celebrate being licensed for a decade. And so
Wow.
when I first started in 2015, I wasn't full time in my business. I didn't really get serious until about 2018. And then
Hmm.
2019 is when I left my last job and decided to go full time in my business, right? And
Hmm.
so even then, like the things that I've learned since 2020 and 2019 compared to now are like night and day. So I too say the same thing with agents that I work with. I'm like, well, you can learn on your own, or you can take what I've learned over the last 5 years and just do what I say. It's up to you though. It's your business, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
your business. And that's what I also love about this. Like this is an industry that you can get into and you don't have to have a lot of money to make a great return on your investment. No knocking other industries,
Hmm.
but I know I read somewhere that in
Hmm.
2024 there were a significant number of real estate agents that didn't sell one home, right?
Yeah.
I know it costs thousands of dollars to be a licensed agent. It costs a few $100s to be a licensed agent as an insurance agent. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a
Yes.
beautiful thing. So, Christina, let's talk about when you first saw that your business generated $1 million for the first time in that 12-month period.
It was so hard.
Let's relive that. Like, tell the story. We want to hear. I want to hear, how did it feel when you looked and you said 1 million? Like, how did that feel? Did you look like this? Like, did you shake yourself? Did you
I
say,
was like, I'm just no. You know what I said? How do I get to 2 million?
that's why you, this is why it's important to be around people who will push you to your next level. Did you hear me? I said, how were you?
Yeah.
Did you look? Did you get
I've
excited?
been,
I said, how
because
do
I
I
was so
go?
close. Like I've been so close. Like every year, right? I've been looking at my numbers, working with my CFO, and always trying to find strategies. And like I'm there. I'm so close to there. Like when I was 500,000, right? And then I was like 750, and I'm like I'm so close. And it felt so hard to get there. Like why can't I hit it? And you know what? It was tweaking things, but it was always in the back of my mind. I'm like I'm so close. And so for me, I was just picturing, okay, I've got a million. I've got a million. I've got a million. That's what I had to be. So when I finally hit that number, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm there, I'm there." And then I said, "What made the difference?" I will say I wasn't as excited as you are, but because I was so looking, I was like, "I need to get to this number. I need to get to this number." And a lot of people ask me like, "What's the deal with that number?" I'm like, for me, whether you have 500 or 750 or a million. Honestly, it's a lot of money. It's just a lot of money. And for me, it was just I just wanted to see if I could do it. I just wanted to see if we could do it in this industry, right? People talk about it all the time. I met many people that are doing way more money than that, and I just felt like it was like I can I do it? Can I do it? And so for me, it was a personal just like something I wanted to accomplish. And then when I looked at it, I'm like, man, this isn't enough. This isn't enough. Like I want to do more with my business, but I gotta. How do I double this? How do I make two? So now my big goal is two.
And then after that is 5, and then it's
Yeah.
10. And listen, I can't wait to say that Christina is my 8-figure friend. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to say that. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. By the way, my name is Terry Alfred. I'm known as the Women's Wealth Strategist, and I specialize in helping business owners and working professionals attract abundance and retire wealthy. Back to your story. So you said a million. When you hit a
Mhm.
million, you said, how do I get to 2? But let's before you get to 2, let's start this. Let's start, because those of us who haven't generated $1 million in a year yet, we
Mhm.
want to know. Now you can't tell us everything because they got to go to the conference
That's right.
and hear
That's right.
all the good stuff. By the way, if you have not bought your ticket to the Attract Abundance Conference, I don't know what you're waiting on, because these are not just conversations that we have live. Like, these are conversations that we're going to have in person. And just imagine women who have been where you want to go, giving you tips, tools, and strategies to help you with your mindset, your money, and movement, so that you can attract your next level of abundance and be able to retire wealthy. See, for Christina, at one point in time, 75,000 was abundance.
Yes.
And then 250,000 was abundance. And then when she got to 500,000, it was abundance. And then she said, wait a minute, if I can get to half, I can get to 1. All it
Yeah.
takes is 2 halves. So then when
Mhm.
she got to 750, that was definitely more abundant than where she was when she was at 75,000. She 10x her business revenue, but she knew that there was still another level. So when we speak about attracting abundance, just know there are levels to this thing. And if you have not bought your ticket yet, you need to buy it now. The Attract Abundance Conference is going to be October the 24th through the 26th in Frisco, Texas. And Christina and her agency is one of the sponsors for our conference, not because she just liked me, not just because I think I'm kind of cute. Y'all think I'm cute? Not just because I'm cute. It's because even at her $1 million business revenue generating self, she still gets growth, and she still gets transformation when she too is at the Attract Abundance conference. Sometimes people ask me,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, well, who is this for? Well, who is in the room? Well, is it only for people who just started? Was it only for people? No, we have something for different women at different phases of business. Now, my question to you is, for those of us who have yet to make $1 million in one calendar year, what are some things that we can fine tune or tweak? Because what you said, I was
Mm-hmm.
listening. I was excited, but I was listening. What you said is to go from 500,000 to three-fourths a million, or 750,000 to 1 million in revenue. You have to make a few small changes. It
Yeah.
a few small changes. It wasn't like you made these massive transfer. No, you made a few small changes. So, what are some things that we can fine tune in our business that may make a big impact, even though it's a small change?
One of the biggest ones that I remember. So, there's so many layers to an insurance that you can do in order to grow your income, right? So like when I was making 75,000, that was just my income, my what I was putting out, right? I was top producer, I was doing great, but I didn't have an agency, okay? I didn't have what we call an LOA. I didn't have a team behind me. I didn't have a business coach. There was so many things that I did not have because I didn't know. So one thing that I remember that really made a difference in my mind. It's all here, guys. I'm super positive. I'm that girl that Christina will always look like. I'm about God. I know. I believe me. I'm on the glass is always half filled type of person. But I still had some limiting beliefs, believe it or not. So the number one thing that really projected my business into growth that I recommend everybody invest in is a business coach.
Yes, talk about it.
Yes.
Talk about it. Why?
Mhm.
Why?
So my first event for mind development was Tony Robbins, and there's so many amazing people. I'm just going to share what did it for me. And I went to my first Tony Robbins, and it was UPW. And just on day one, we fire walk. You walk on coals of fire, and I'm like, what? This is yeah. And he still does it, like on all his UPWs. He still does it. I've done it 4 times because I do go back. It still freaks me out, but he's proving to you there it's a physical thing, your body, to tell you that it's your mind that holds you back. What it is fear is telling you I can't do that. It literally it's fire, coals. There's 50 rows of coal. Everybody's walking. 10,000 people are walking at the same time, and it's over in like seconds. Okay,
Mm.
and your mind's telling you, I can't do that. That's fire. And that's just an analogy for life. So many times we stop ourselves where I can't recruit that person. What if that person fails? Oh, I can't do that. I can't leave my 9 to 5. Oh, I can't do that. I'm a single mom. I can't do that. I can't afford to live this. And so it's an analogy. It's just a metaphor for life to show you that your mind is the only thing holding you back. So I was already doing good. But when I went to 4 days at UPW, it fed into my mind, and I just had, and then I got my first business coach out of that, and I had so many breakthroughs. Because of that, I had 3 agents only, and I didn't want to grow more than 3 agents. Okay. And the reason why it's because I thought that I had to carry my team, like their success depended on me. And through my business coach, she taught me, her name was Christina as well. And she helped me go through my limiting beliefs. When I got over the fact that there's going to be people coming into this and some will stay, some will go, and it doesn't matter. Their success or their failure is not on my shoulders. Okay. It's not on my shoulders. So when she helped me unblock that, I just recruited and gave this opportunity to everybody and anyone. Today, we're close to 60 agents. We're about 60 agents, give or take. Yes.
That's a
Yes.
lot more than three.
Well, girl, and fear's what kept me there. Fear kept me at 3 agents. I thought that's all I could manage. And you know what? There's a lot of beauty in 3 to 5 agents. I'm not gonna tell you don't do 3 to 5 agents either, right? But don't limit yourself if you have potential to do more. We don't do more money. We don't want to make more money because we think what holds us back? We're gonna pay more taxes. Girl,
Mhm.
taxes is the least of my problems.
Mm.
Taxes are the least of my problems.
We have a tax strategist speaking, but I used to have that mindset too. I really did. I used to be like, well, if I make this much, well, look, let me wait. It's January. It's December. Let me book them in January. So yeah, my commission get hit, and I was like, that is A jacked up
Limiting.
mindset to have.
Limiting belief.
That's a
Limiting
limited
belief.
belief. That is a lack mindset. That's not servicing people. That's still
Mhm.
servicing me. So I had to get on my own butt about making sure that I continue to have an abundant mindset and not a lack
Mhm.
mindset. I like what you said. And this is what I heard. You said walking on fire is what owning a business feels like. So for the people who want to own a business, my question is, can you walk on fire? Can you walk on fire?
I can, and I can do it, and and let me tell you what, I still do it with fear, but I do with confidence because I know who I am.
Mm,
I do so many things, guys, and a lot of people ask me like, "Are you ever scared?" Because I always seem like I'm not scared. I'm always scared. I'm scared, but not scared of failing, just scared of like, oh my God, what's the outcome, right? Going to be. But I've learned to take risks. I've learned to risk, but I don't take risks without having faith in God, that God leads me to the right path, right? I'm not going to go open a door that God has clearly closed for me.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. God has not given us the spirit of fear. So that
Amen.
fear is not of God.
That's
So
right.
yeah, I like I said, what are some things that we're able to do because we have a license? We're able to travel the world, right?
Yes,
We're able to
absolutely.
take risk. We're able to um be be in coaching programs where we can meet people like Christina, right? Because
Mhm.
we have this license, right?
Our license gives us like I was like one time I had an agent tell me, and it was really funny, right? It was an agent spouse. The agent is hustling, and I could see it's a struggle. I know when we first start. And then they had the spouse, and this spouse was an unsupported spouse. And we're talking about money, right? And it was a girls' barbecue, right? Agents. And so happened that this agent brought the spouse. And the spouse, we're talking about like you have no time. We're talking amongst a bunch of business owners, and we're talking about success, and we're talking about what are your goals. And I bravely said, I want to make $1 million in my business. That's the big goal, right? And he responded with, money isn't everything, trying to make me feel bad because this
Oh, I hate when people do that. I'm
but
sorry.
you'll
Go
get those. They're going to get you there, right? And so I remember thinking to myself, that's so funny. I'm like, because he was being a hater. And I'm sure your audience is going to realize like there's those people that you got to be ready for this. And I'm like, and my response was like, you're absolutely right. Money, it does not buy happiness. You're right. But it does buy comfort. And it is nice. It does. It is nice.
Christina.
It does buy comfort.
Yes.
Because you know what? I remember when I was paycheck to paycheck, guys. I have been the paycheck where I'm shuffling money in beginning in the insurance world. And even when I had a corporate job, there wasn't excessive money for me to take vacations. I mean, I was penny pinching everything you could possibly think so I could get what I wanted. Today, I don't have to penny pinch. Today, if I want to purchase the luxury, resort, I don't have that weight on me like I can't do that. But I know what it is to go from struggling, working towards growing something. I don't forget those humble beginnings. They're important because I never want to take anybody for granted or make anybody feel less than. But I also know that we have to. It's okay to make money. It's okay to be blessed with money. And for me, it's like it allows me to give back. Right, the money that I make, it's easy for when people ask me like, my mom works for a nonprofit, and it's a nonprofit, and they're doing college scholarship night. They're doing different things for fundraisers for those kids. And you know what? It's pretty cool. Is I when my mom calls and says, "Hey, Christina, we're doing these things. Would your business like to?" I make sure, Mom. How much do you need?
That feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes.
It
And
feels so
and
good.
and she's gonna leave. She's gonna leave. She's gonna retire because she's been a director there. And and she asked me, it's like, will you continue to help communities and schools? And I said, absolutely. I will continue to help them. Yes.
Yes, yes, it feels good. I like that. I really like what you said there. I hope y'all are taking notes. I should have told y'all before. Take notes. Go back and watch the replay and take notes. So here's the thing. It's been a minute since I've done my live challenge. I'm a little rusty. I forgot to tell them who I was and to take
No.
notes. But that's all right. That's all right. It's coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me now. But what she said was, when you are able to make more money and have more money, you're able to help more people and have a greater impact. You're
Mm-hmm.
also able to have comfort. Like that hit. in so many ways, right? So with you being in, I know you're in the health insurance industry and that is your industry. You know that world more than me. But one thing that I know is that the people who have money have a different experience when they have health issues. And so it's not just about having money. It's not just about having money. It's about having comfort. It's about having options. It's about being able to be a philanthropist. It's about being able to change lives. It's about being able to pour into the next person, but it's also about legacy building, legacy planning. And it's also about creating those good habits in the season that you're in. I'm going to say this because I feel like this is something I don't want to forget. I think this is a good place to put this question. By the way, this is all organic. Christina did not want any pre
Any
pre
yeah, questionings. You're like, what do you ask me? What do you want me to ask? I'm like, whatever. Let's just go with it.
just talk. I'm giving it to you as it comes to me. So I was speaking to a lady earlier today, and I spoke to a few women this weekend, and I was speaking about the importance of having good money habits as a single woman, so that when you are married, you have good money habits, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so what I was sharing with her is that as a single woman, I mean, well, I don't know if you dating, that's your business, but I think you're single, and not married, because if you're not married, you're single, right? So
Yep.
as a single woman, why is it important for us to have good money habits as a single woman?
Great question. I just wanted to shout out because somebody put in Sandra Narvaez. I think that's how you say your name. I see it in the corner. It says, I used to work for community schools. So that is the nonprofit that my mom works for. Yes.
Look at that.
It's
Look at that connection. Hi, Sandra.
yes, yes, yes. So you probably know my mom, but yes, just a shout out to Community School. It's a great project, and if you don't know about it, just it is an at-risk. It's an at-risk nonprofit for dropouts. It's a dropout prevention program, and it's all over the United States, by the way, different communities. And I'm just grateful for the work they do because it goes for as low as it starts off at kindergarten, by the way, kindergarten, and their job is to see them grow into to college, to see them out. And so great organization. I'll continue to support them because what they do matters, really does. But to go back to your question, repeat it. I'm sorry. I was excited when
That's
I saw
okay.
that.
That's okay. Why is it important for us to be good with our money, have good money
Absolutely.
habits as single women? Because I mean,
Absolutely.
even as a woman with no children, right? I know I love
Hmm.
to give, right? But if I have children, if I overspend as a single woman with no children, I know if I have children, I'm going to overspend because I'm going shopping every day for my baby. So why is it good?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think for me, right, I've been a single woman off and on, off and on, but right now I'm a single woman. And the thing I'm looking for is, again, I'm going back to safety and security, right? And giving myself a good life. And I'm not going to be ashamed for working hard. But girl, I take the best vacations. I get to go to conferences, invest. I mean, I went to a conference and I love that I'm able to do this and that my business is able to pay it off. Not me, not Christina, the business.
Yes.
I've gone to Spain, for a conference, a Thailand for a conference, and then besides my own personal, right? And then I take my own personal vacations. I've been to Greece, I've been to Turkey. I just got back from Italy back in April. And that was a business. That was business. Let me tell you, that was a business event with a bunch of business associates, which we had the best time. But you as a single woman, you've got to think about I have a nice home now, right? I have a nice home, I have a nice car, and all of those things make me feel proud of myself. I've worked hard for them. But don't get me wrong, if a man comes and wants to take care of me, not a problem.
Look,
Bring it on.
exactly. But we want to have good habits, so when he come, he's not like, "Girl, you crazy with your money." Like,
Yeah.
if he, let's just pause. Let's just have a moment of silence, just in case one is watching the replay. Sir, I'm single. She's single. Just because we got successful businesses don't mean we don't want to be taken care of. Okay. So please come put us in our soft girl era.
That's
Have to
right.
do it, friend. Have to do. You're turning pink. Okay. I don't want to make you blush.
But it's okay. If the universe wants to send us someone, I'm down for it.
listen. Send them her way, y'all. If y'all know somebody, just share the video. Look, Christina, Christina, you just may never know, where your knight in shining armor may
That's
come.
right.
I want to
Mm-hmm.
speak about one more thing before we get off of here. So when
Okay.
you were speaking about like, oh, I made 1 million, I want to go to 2 million in my business, and I've been around people who've made much more than that in our industry. I don't want to gloss over the fact that those who made much more in this industry, did they look
Mm-hmm.
like you? How many of them look like you, and how many of them look like me?
Not many. I would tell you. I'll give you the description. It's usually Anglo, and it's usually men.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna say that again. We're gonna say that again.
Hmm.
So when you said, "Oh, there are many more people who made much more money than me in this industry,"
Yeah.
no, no, no. You are one of the very few women of color, Latino women,
Hmm.
who have been generating over $1 million in revenue every year in your insurance business. So yes, those guys are, those guys, but because there are so many, I mean, there are so few of you and there are so few of me, we have to continue to work together.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
to continue to build each other up, and we have to continue to create safe spaces for
Hmm.
us to be together. So I'm going to put a shameless plug here, ladies. If you are a woman in insurance and you are interested in just being a part of a community where there are other women in insurance who are doing great things, and we are able to help grow you and inspire you, just put group in the comment section. Just put group in the comment section, and I'll send you a special link so that you can get some insight from me in that group and some insight from Christina in that group. The other thing that I want to do is I want to encourage you all to purchase a ticket to the Attract Abundance Conference. You don't have to be in financial services. You don't have to be in insurance. Some people that come may not even be in business yet, but they know they want to go into business. Or maybe they have a business, they work in IT for this company, or they're a project manager and they plan to go full time in their business in 2027. So they're coming so that they can learn ahead of time. Maybe that's you. I encourage you to get your ticket to the Attract Abundance Conference, because we're going to break through those limiting beliefs. We're going to work
Hmm.
on our mindset, our money, and our movement on day one. And on day two, we're going to have an abundance of resources that you can use and take part in so that you too can retire wealthy. And just like I said, there's levels to this attracting abundance. There are levels to retiring wealthy. What you consider to be wealthy today may change when you come to the conference. Because you may say, well, dang, I thought I just needed like 500,000 in my retirement nest egg, but let me go ahead and aim for 2 million. I think I want to go ahead and hit that 2 million in my
Hmm.
retirement instead within the next 10 to 15 years. So I thank you all. Kimberly, Terry, nice to know you. Christina, thank you, Kimberly, for watching.
Yes.
Latora, I think she was on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. Christina, can you leave us with any lasting words of wisdom
Yeah. Yeah,
today?
absolutely. Well, number one is, ladies, I would I led with one thing. I think you guys have to take. You've got to get in rooms that you're uncomfortable with. Okay. And yes, yes. Okay. My business is doing 1 million. It's not that it's not a big deal, right? It is a big deal. But don't be afraid of talking to someone like me, talking to someone like Terry, because we all started somewhere. We all started working for someone else. We all some of us went to school, got a degree, was sold the dream. I can tell you that in my business, I don't use my degree. I use my personality. And yes, I have to learn the product, right? But you do, if you want to change something in your life, get into the room. Spend the money on the ticket. I promise you, it's a really good investment. Come talk to us. We're open. I feel like we're super approachable. It doesn't matter what question. You've got to start somewhere. You got to start. And I know it's kind of like it's uncomfortable. I sometimes think the same thing. I'm like, am I going to go into that? Should I invest in that group? I'm like, yeah. I don't care that people don't look like me. I really, honestly, that kind of drives me.
You know what? I know exactly what you mean. I go into rooms because I want to see what's happening in the room. And if I'm the only one that look like me in the room, that's okay. I'm sitting on the front row.
Yep, yep. And I'm just like this. I'm just bringing a lot of color to this room.
Oh, Making this room colorful.
Yes. So I just invite everyone that's on here that invite someone that you know that you're like, this person has such great, aspirations, dreams. It doesn't matter if you want to start like a cake shop, because a lot of women, we're creative, we're a lot of creative. It doesn't matter what you're in. It doesn't have to be women in finance, right? Bring yourself. I promise you, your business will bloom. It will grow. Because I tell you, when I started going and feeding my mind, the rest of me got better, right? My health got better, my mind got better, and that's because I find myself to be a very positive person. Get in these rooms, because it will take you to that next level. Even if you're working for someone else, it'll make you a better mom, a better employee, a better spouse, a better friend. That's what these rooms are doing for us. They're helping us open our minds, because believe me, we do have limiting beliefs. Come in, come share, come talk to us. We're happy to help.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for that and all the color that you are bringing to this interview, to the timeline, to this industry. I love and appreciate you all. You all make sure you get your tickets to the Attract Abundance Conference on August 1st. The ticket prices do increase. Right now, they are $400, only $400 for general admission and $600 for VIP. The VIPs will start their VIP experience on Friday night. And then on Saturday, you will have access to a full day of attracting abundance. And then in that evening, we're going to have a gala where we celebrate excellence. And then on Sunday, we're going to have Sunday brunch, and we are going to speak more about how to retire wealthy. We are going to give you thousands of dollars worth of content for just a few $100s. And right now, let me say this. Right now, I have more women that are coming to this event that are outside of Dallas. So, Dallas, you can think you can wait until October if you want to, and you're going to miss out on your blessings. So, go ahead and get your ticket, because people are putting this on their calendars. They're booking their flights, they're booking their hotel rooms, because they know this is a room where it happens. This is a room where you want to be in. And it's not all about me. And it's not all about Christina. It is all about you. It is all about you, because even I had transformations at my event last year. I was transformed. I said, wait a minute. Okay. Okay, I get it. Some epiphanies you won't have until you're outside of your natural habitat, until you're outside of your natural environment. So if you have a work from home business and you are, speaking to your CFO, like you said, you're speaking to your CFO, you're speaking to your coach, you're speaking to your mentor, you may have like one or two things that need to be tweaked, but for some reason it just won't click. You can literally be in the room where two or more are gathered. And let me tell you, the way that we show up and our energy show up and the Holy Ghost show up, you start having all these downloads and you're like, that's it. I know exactly how to run on and see what the end of 2025 is going to be. Ooh, I just got excited, y'all. Make sure you get your ticket. I don't want to tell too much because it's going to be a phenomenal experience and I want you to still be surprised. So thank you again, Christina. I can't wait to see you this weekend. And everybody, if you are watching the replay, type #replay. If you know somebody needs to see this video, tag them on it. Thank you, Greta, for all the tags. And I hope you all have an amazing and an abundant day. Adios, everybody.
Bye, guys. See you then.
Bye-bye.